I've been wanting to do a lore video, or a series of lore videos even, about various battles throughout the different eras in Star Wars. So when I saw this book, Battles That Changed the Galaxy, I knew I had to pick it up. It's sort of it runs through in detail all the different aspects of the battles and whatnot. So I'm not going to do this video instead of the lore videos. I think I'll still do those, but I couldn't pass up buying and showing you guys this book. And another thing that's really great about it is that I feel like a lot of times books that, like encyclopedias or whatever, that span the entire saga often omit things like the Clone Wars or Rebels. So I'm very excited to see that they do have Clone Wars battles on here. So we can see on the cover we have Darth Vader. We have some spider droids down here. I believe this is Mimbin. Of course, Hoth. The droid attack on Naboo. We have Luke here. There's Gar Saxon in the Siege of Mandalore. And I think these are two battles from the sequels. I think one of them is episode 9. I'm not sure where this one's from. So there's the front. Let me turn it around here. Enter a galaxy ravaged by conflict and discover the complete story of the epic struggles that define the Star Wars saga. From the vast fleet battles of the Clone Wars to the desperate last stand of the Resistance, each battle is depicted with captivating imagery, explored with newly created maps, and explained through detailed analysis of tactics, weaponry, and legendary commanders. Ooh, that's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing these maps and the tactics. That stuff always really fascinates me. Oh, look at this. There's like a map of like a space battle. That's awesome. I think that's kind of one of the reasons why Thrawn is one of my favorite characters, because space battles and tactics and all that stuff has always really interested me. So let's get into it here. As with all books, obviously we can't, go through everything. This will probably be maybe 45 minutes to an hour, I would say, and we'll just kind of flip through and look at the broad sort of, kind of headings and pictures. We're not going to be reading the whole book by any means. digest and hopefully see some pretty cool stuff. So, right on the cover here we have the droids on Naboo. And I'm assuming that's going to be the first battle. It's going to start with, I don't know if this book is also going to pull from, novels and comics, or if it's just going to be shows and movies. I'm not sure. What year was it published? I don't know. There's the foreword. Introduction. Battles of the Republic. Sparks of Rebellion. I'm assuming that's Rebels. Galactic Civil War. That's the original trilogy. And First Order Resistance War. The sequels. Okay, yeah. The book does start with the droid invasion of Naboo. And we got Geonosis. I'm assuming we have the second one. Yeah, we have both battles of Geonosis, Christophsis, Death, Ryloth, Malevolence, Rishi Moon, Quell, Malastar, there's Camino, Moncala, Anaxis, Mandalore, Coruscant, Kashyyyk, Utapau, Sulukmai, Volusia. For my 501st Legion lore video, I had to research all these battles, so they're fairly fresh in my head. Oh, and I really like the timeline here. I love a good timeline. Kind of, let you know where everything is with respect to everything else, so you can sort of ground yourself in the universe. And here's a galaxy map. I better go faster than this, or we're going to be here for hours. Okay, here we have Naboo. Commanders are Queen Padme Amidala and Viceroy Newt Gunray. There's the Gungans. And of course, Anakin in his Naboo, I believe it's N1 Starfighter, which is now the ship of choice for a certain individual, apparently. That was pretty cool to see it, though. There's more on Naboo. Strategic worlds. And here we go. First Battle of Geonosis. Of course, kicks off the Clone Wars. Definitely some awesome scenes in Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones, is a good movie. It's a great movie even, but every time I watch it, I find myself just looking forward to the battle at the end. Definitely awesome to see on screen. And in live action. So, Paco the Lesser and Yoda. Here we are in the arena. All the Jedi and the clone show up. The dwarf spider droid. Here we have our Republic dropships dropping crew's escape. Concentrated firepower. Here's Christoph's. Does it say? It doesn't actually. Oh, here's the stealth ship. So here's the stealth ship that Anakin pilots, breaking the blockade, and then down onto the surface of Christoph's. Christoph's. I like the battle, but I gotta say, the chronology is kind of confusing. They put the episodes very out of order for Christoph's in season 2, and I think even, like, if I recall correctly, this episode was in season 2, and like the rest of Christoph's is in season 1, and also Christoph's takes place partly during the movie. So, if you haven't watched the Clone Wars yet, I'd recommend looking up the chronological order and watching that. Here's Death, Obi-Wan, and Asajj Ventress. This whole battle takes place just in the Clone Wars movie. Pretty cool. We got to see the AT-ATs walk up the wall, or like a cliff, which was pretty cool. They don't show it here. Here's Ryloth, Mace Windu, and Wat Tambor. There's Malevolence, Plo Koon, and General Grievous. But, oh, I just realized it has a 3 BFE. I'm not familiar with that. I feel like they introduce new dates randomly. And I prefer just to do PPY and ABY before the Battle of Yavin and after the Battle of Yavin. Before the First Empire, First Galactic Empire. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure this is 22 PPY. Because in 19 PPY is when the Republic falls. Here we go, we got capital ships. Interesting. This is Empire ship. That's a dreadnought, or why am I not remembering the name? Executor. And then, oh, here's the Malevolence, I guess. So I guess it's kind of showing us the scale of the Malevolence. Oh yeah, okay. I think that's what it's going for. So we can see here's like the Executor, Vader ship from Empire Strikes Back. And then we have the Malevolence. And then we have a standard Star Destroyer, which is still massive in and of itself. Okay, that makes sense. And then kind of zoomed in views. But in scale, they're really small. I like seeing this sort of ship size comparison. That's pretty cool. Rishi Moon. Oh, this is where we meet Fize and Echo on Rishi Moon, and Heavy dies. Bothawi. atmosphere of a planet. That was really cool. And then here's the first Battle of Felucia. I think the Republic actually had to retreat and pull off the planet. Oh yeah, outcome, Separatist victory. Is this the one? Yeah, where Ahsoka didn't want to retreat and almost got overrun. Yeah. So there's first Battle of Felucia. Malastare. This is the Willow Beast. Shadow of the Bomb. Oh, we moved into 2 BFE. Where did that happen? Looks like between Bothawi and Quell. So there's Malastare. General Mace Windu versus TN-123. Here's the second Battle of Geonosis. Another really great collection of battle scenes. I really love the episode landing at Point Rain, where you have the Republic deploying onto Geonosis, and sort of the gunships crashing and everyone trying to recover. Definitely pretty awesome scenes. Here's Kamino, Battle of Kamino, where the Separatists attack the home planet of the clones. Wolf Yularen versus General Grievous. And of course, the Republic wins and manages to push the Separatists off the planet. Lola Sayu. Oh, this is the Citadel. There's Sobek. This is when Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka, and sort of their usual suspect of clones, head to the Citadel to rescue Tarkin and what was his name? Blanking on it right now. Is it in here? Evan Beale, there it is. And the Republic sends an invasion fleet at the end to pull them out. Here's the second Battle of Felucia, where I think Ahsoka ends up getting captured by Trandoshans. So she doesn't have a very good track record on Felucia for whatever reason. Does it say it anywhere here? I don't think so. Maybe it does and I'm just not reading it. But the Republic does win, but Ahsoka gets captured by Trandoshans. And that becomes like the whole arc, where Ahsoka has to fight her way off of the planet. Not Felucia. They bring her to like a planet where they sort of hunt people. Moncala. Underwater battle. Princely Jar versus Riff Damson. I never really liked Riff Damson. I thought he was like a little bit too much of like a Pixar villain. Like less of like a kind of menacing separatist leader and more of like a talking shark, like Finding Nemo, which, isn't a bad thing. a little bit more in depth on Umbara, because there's a lot to talk about, and a lot happens, and it's very clone-centric, and sort of battle-centric. So, I wish they gave a little bit more, and some maps or something, tactics maybe, that would have been cool, but, you know, definitely still cool to see, and there's so much content in the Clone Wars that it's understandable that they couldn't cram it all into one book. So, there's Umbara, General Anakin Skywalker, and TM-1Z1. And of course, Obi-Wan was also there, commanding the 212, and Pongrel eventually takes over, or actually pretty quickly takes over for Anakin. Here's Dathomir, where General Grievous and the droids attack the witches, and Mother Talzin speaks to, what was it, Old Daka, I think, to raise the dead, and like a zombie horde fights the droids. Kinda cool. Onderon. This is like much more of a sort of original trilogy or Rebels style fight. Instead of like, you know, the Grand Army of the Republic, it was like sort of guerrilla warfare on Onderon. And yeah, we saw Gerrera, who plays a big role in Rogue One, so that was cool to see him for sure. And Steela. Let's see. Here's an Axis. The first battle we see in Season 7 of the Clone Wars, and of course, where we meet the Bad Batch. Find out that Echo is still alive, and of course, Echo joins the Bad Batch. Here's Admiral Trench. Here's Mandalore, Bo-Katan, and Maul. And then here's the duel on Mandalore between Maul and Ahsoka. There's been a lot of battles on Mandalore. There's also the one, I believe it's Season 5, where, you know, Maul first captures Mandalore with Pre Vizsla, and then kills Pre Vizsla, takes the throne of Mandalore, and then Palpatine comes and, you know, deals with him. And then he retakes Mandalore, so there's a lot of battles on Mandalore. It's like Geonosis or Felucia, there's just constant fighting. Raising armies. Oh, I think the idea is there's like, kind of like interspersed throughout the book, there's like little blurbs that are agnostic to like any one era, and it's just kind of general sort of info about like how different armies are made, like cloning, manufacturing droids, recruiting, brainwashing. Okay, here's the Battle of Coruscant. This is the, you know, transitioning from the Clone Wars to Revenge of the Sith. Very, you know, super fun part of the movie where, you know, kind of the last time we see Anakin his prime as a Jedi. So, commanders are General Grievous and Commander Honor Salima. I'm not actually familiar with whoever this is. I don't know what source this is from. I don't think it's from the movie. I've seen Revenge of the Sith so many times. I would be embarrassed if Commander Salima was in the movie and I just didn't know about it, so I'll have to look that up. I'm not sure who that is. And then of course General Grievous. Arc 170. Definitely an awesome ship design. I love the way it looks. Key weapon. Mass driver cannon. Where's the full broadside? Oh, here's where the invisible hand crashes. Or, it doesn't, well, it technically crashes, but, you know, it's another happy landing. Palpatine convinces Anakin to do it, and then they crash the ship on the surface. But of course, still live. Here's Kashyyyk. Another really cool battle that I wish we got to see more of. You know, we have like the really long battles in like Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith with like Battle of Geonosis and Battle of Coruscant. But Kashyyyk is always one that I wanted to see more of, that we only got like a minute or two of content from. So I always thought, you know, it looks super cool. We have like the turbo tanks here and like the droids coming out of the sea. I've always thought it just looked super cool, but I wanted to see more of it. Here's Kashyyyk again. There's the Wookiees. Of course. Air support. And then we see the ATRTs down here. Here's Utapau, of course, the planet that Obi-Wan Kenobi kills General Grievous on, and then Order 66 is declared. There's Commander Cody. We got the 212th, and you can see some airborne troopers. Maikito. This is where Kiadi-Mundi dies, who is gunned down by Baraka and the Galactic Marines. And then Seleucami, where I believe it's Stas Ali is killed again during Order 66, and we see the Park Troopers and Commander Neo. Or is it Neo? I think it's Neo. Kato and Nemoidia, where we see Plo Koon die, and the third Battle of Lucia, where we see Aayla Secura die. So, a lot of sad deaths. Very unfortunate. 46 was executed, so. And that ends the era of the Republic. And of course, the Empire is formed, and we're moving into sparks of rebellion. So yeah, looks like we got Mimban, which is from Solo. We got Phoenix Squadron, which is Rebels, Ryloth Jeddah. So actually, I think Jeddah is Rogue One. So looks like we got some Solo stuff. We got Rebels. We got Rogue One. Here's the map. Unknown regions. Here's our timeline. Mimban was in 9 AFE. There's Adelon. Lothal, Jeddah, Edu. There's another core colonies. So there's Mimban. Colonial warfare. And we see sort of like mud troopers instead of the typical stormtroopers. And then we got Elder Iacento. I don't know if this was part of the movie and I missed it, or I've seen Solo a few times, but it doesn't seem familiar. Maybe this is from another source. Although it does look live action, so maybe I'm wrong. There's Mimban again. Of course, this is where Han Solo meets Chewbacca. Are they gonna talk about that? I don't see it anywhere. Anyways, attack on Phoenix Squadron. 15 AFE. Deep space. Imperial victory. Darth Vader versus Commander Sato. So, it was definitely cool to see Vader in Rebels, and I loved the end of Season 2. I doubt they're going to include it here because it's not like a huge battle, but where we see Ahsoka and Vader duel. That was awesome. Ryloth Insurgency. And you can see we have Grand Admiral Thrawn here. Outcome inconclusive. So Grand Admiral Thrawn in Rebels is definitely a bit watered down, because, you know, he's the antagonist and sort of not the main character. He's more of just like the villain, whereas in the books he's the main character, he's the protagonist. And, you know, he really shines in the books, so I do like Thrawn in Rebels, but he seems kind of unremarkable. Like, he's a cool villain in Rebels, but his 6 canon books down is where he really shines. Hyperspace Warfare. So we can see interdictors here. These make a gravity well, so you can pull ships out of hyperspace, sort of at will. And Thrawn actually uses this tactic where he places interdictors, where he wants the ships to come in for sort of a surprise attack, and then you get like very precise sort of hyperspace drops. Here's Adelon. General Dadana versus Grand Admiral Thrawn. Lothal, Harrison Dula, and Grand Admiral Thrawn. This is, of course, the last battle in Rebels. So Thrawn and Ezra both go missing in action. So the Empire was going to win, but then Ezra, I don't remember what they're called, but he sort of brings in his space whales to attack, and then they grasp onto the ship, including Thrawn and Ezra, and jump away to hyperspace, and we haven't seen we haven't seen either of them since, or I guess we haven't seen them yet, but Ahsoka mentioned in The Mandalorian that she's looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn, and, presumably Ezra too. So, fingers crossed they, in the Ahsoka show, they do, more books Thrawn and less Rebels Thrawn. Wabani. This is in Rogue One, where Jyn Erso is rescued. Then we have Jeddah with Saw Gerrera, where we see the Death Star used sort of on low power mode for the first time. Then Saw Gerrera dies. Here's a map of Jeddah. Jeddah City. Air cover. Dome of the Anointed. Checkpoint 7. Checkpoint 7 is bullet 3. Pilgrim's Gate. Where's that? Is it in the fold? Or am I blind? Oh, no, it's down here. And so on and so forth. There's Jeddah again. Yeah, and there's the Death Star blast. Propaganda. Words matter. The power of art. Patriotism and media. There's Edu. Galen Erso. Key casualty. Jyn Erso's dad. Cassian Andor. I think he's also getting a show soon. Seems pretty exciting. there's Edu again. And then... Oh, I was about to say, how did they not include Scarif? That's like the sort of big battle of Rogue One, but they put it in Chapter 3, so I was about to be very surprised. But, oh, wow, actually, I didn't realize this before. All of these are labeled with numbers, and that's on the map. Duh. I feel silly for not realizing this, but that's really awesome. That they're all labeled with their locations. Let's see, we got, what's 6? That's way out there. Mancala. Yeah, Mancala. What about 10? Where's 10? What the heck? 7, 8, 9, 10 is Endor. Down here. And where's Hoth? Hoth is over here. I want to do a video, probably a lore video, with like a galaxy map, where I show you guys, you know, a big version of the map with all the planets labeled, and then we talk about each planet and what goes on it. So here's Scarif, Admiral Radis, and Orson Krennic. Definitely an awesome battle. A lot of really awesome scenes. There's Scarif continued. The Death Troopers. And we also got Shore Troopers. Oh, here's a map. I like maps. I'm sad they didn't include more maps to the Clone Wars. I would have loved to see that, but still cool nonetheless. So that's pretty cool. There's Jyn in her disguise. Scarif continued again, and yeah, here's when Vader arrives. Right as the rebel fleet's jumping out. And of course, there he is, with his famous hallway scene in Rogue One. Definitely an awesome scene. And now, this is, switching over to, you know, from Rogue One to the beginning of A New Hope. Boarding the Tantive 4. I want to go a little bit faster. Battle of Yavin, where the Death Star was destroyed. The first Death Star was destroyed by Luke Skywalker. There it is. Moon 1. This is a battle from the comics. Rogus Voss. Mutiny at Mancala. These are all battles in the comics. faster through these. Intelligence and espionage. This is one of those sort of insert slides. Organized intelligence. Spy games. Here, of course, we have Hoth. I think I've said this like an inordinate number of times on this channel, but I love the Battle of Hoth. It is definitely my favorite original trilogy battle, and maybe my favorite battle in the whole saga. But I'd have to really think about that one. I just love the snow, and Echo Base and the Empire's Assault, and the Ice Planet is just awesome. There's the shield generator and the AT-ATs. Here's wrapping the cord around the AT-ATs so they fall over, and eventually Vader and the snowtroopers do infiltrate Echo Base and push everyone out, but most of our main characters manage to escape. Here's Solist. I think this is actually from Battlefront, the game. Endor. Of course, the battle at the end of Return of the Jedi, which sort of, signals the end of the Empire's reign, and has the death of both Vader and Palpatine. So here's the surface assault on Endor to destroy the shield generator. And then we have, these are cool. I really like these. I wish they made more. But we got Initial Arrival, Imperial Blockade, Super Laser Blast, Point Blank, Executor's Fall, Last Movements, so I really like to see the maps. Endor Decisive Moment, when the Executor was destroyed. And of course, the Death Star 2 was destroyed after they took down the shield generator. Naboo. Here we can see a shot from Battlefront 2 with God, I'm forgetting her name. This is kind of like post Emperor Palpatine's death. He had sort of his contingency planned out in his like scorched earth type of policy if he died. There's a name for it. I don't think it's scorched earth. Operation Cinder. That's what it is. Rebel Starfighter Doctrine. Zavian Abyss. Natiri Dockyards. Gallaton. These are all battles, sort of, after, Palpatine dies, and the New Republic's trying to mop up what's left of the Empire. Jakku. Another map here. Destroyer Defense, Imperial Coordination, Starhawk Assault, Breaking Point, Strategic Sacrifice, Fall of Titans. There's Jakku, Imperial Remnants. A lot of Mandalorian stuff you can see here. There's Slave One. And then Chapter 4. First Order, Resistance War. There's the map. Not a ton of battles here. Tunal. Is it Twanal? Tunal. This is the battle that kicked off the sequel trilogy. Takodana. Neo-Imperialism. And then here's the Starkiller base. Battle. That ends The Force Awakens. And then Destruction. Castellan. I think this is Resistance. I admittedly haven't watched Resistance. It's the only Star Wars show that I have yet to watch. Maybe I will at some point. I've heard, mixed things about it. So, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll give it a chance. Let me know if you guys, has anyone watched Resistance? Is it any good? Dakar. Achi. There's great. Another map. And then we have Kylo and Luke, who is not actually here. And then this looks like, this is another, resistance battle, so not familiar with that. Military uniforms. Oh, this is kind of cool. You can see. For some reason, they didn't include the Republic, but still cool to see that. Technician, officer, pilot, infantry. The Rebel pilots always look awesome, and so do the TIE pilots. And then here's the exit call. The final battle of the sequels. And all the Star Destroyers. So, that's exit call, and that's everything. So, is there any? There's the, it looks like the sort of back cover is exit call, and the front cover is Naboo. So, it's like the two bookends, I guess. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought. Definitely a really neat book. I personally would have preferred, a bit more depth into, a lot of these Clone War battles. I see why they didn't, because there are so many of them. And there's well over 100 episodes of the Clone Wars. And, you need a book, 10 inches tall to have detailed information on every battle, but if it existed, I would buy it. But I would have loved, more maps and tactics for a lot of Clone Wars battles, but still kind of cool, and definitely really neat to flip through and read. And, we just looked at all the pictures basically, so I'm sure there's a ton of really great content sort of in the, the meat of the book. So definitely, if you're interested, seems like a worthwhile purchase. A lot of good information. And I really appreciate that it pulls from, the shows, like the animated shows, not just movies. And, some of the comics in there as well. So, it would have been cool if it pulled from books. Like, there's some pretty big battles in the Thrawn books that were included. But, hey, nonetheless, still a cool book. So, I'll definitely do at least one, if not many lore videos on various battles. So, look forward to that at some point in the future. And otherwise, let me know what you guys thought.